ng drama, lahat ng tawanan, lahat ng iyong all-time hits. Ang tanging huntahan ng Masang Lamaw, #1 sa Mega Manila, nationwide pa. Broadcasting from TGON, TVH Group of Networks. Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. You are listening to Cool FM. Live from Cool Studios. This is koolNews at 6.
It's now 6:02 from the headquarters of Cool FM and Dream Car Karaoke.
I'm Royal Orange.
And I'm Stephen Newanag Duzon. Good evening, Duzon, Visayas, and Mindanao.
Topping our news tonight, and this is the continuation coverage of the Typhoon Carina. Pala suspends classes, government work in NCR due to Bagyong Carina. Work in government offices and classes in all levels in the National Capital Region were suspended. Malacanang made the announcement due to the continuous heavy rainfall brought by Typhoon Carina. According to the palace, in view of the forecasted continuous rainfall brought about by the southwest monsoon and Typhoon Carina, work in government offices and classes at all levels in the National Capital Region are hereby suspended at 5 a.m. The suspension came after the recommendation made by the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, or NDRRMC. However, agencies whose functions involve the delivery of basic and health services, response to disasters and calamities, and or the performance of other vital services shall continue with their operations and render the necessary services. Malacanang added the suspension of work for private companies and offices is left to the discretion of their respective heads. A post from Manila Bulletin in X. Just in, Malacanang suspends work in government and classes in all levels. Also, work in government offices and classes in all levels in Metro Manila were also suspended at 2 p.m. on July 23 due to the effects of Typhoon Carina and Habagat. Plus, almost 6,000 Caviteños displaced by floods. The number of individuals evacuated in the province due to flooding caused by the southwest monsoon and has by Typhoon Carina climbed 5,975 on Thursday. The Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office Administrator Rustom Ram Colorado said that 1,758 families are seeking temporary shelter in evacuation centers spread in 16 local government units. Here are the names of the LGUs are affected: Amadeo, Bacoor City, Carmona City, Cavite City, Dasmariñas City, General Trias City, Imus City, Kawit, Maragondon, Naik, Noveleta, Rosario, Silang, Tagaytay, Tanza, and Ternate. Colorado stated that they received information about 2 individuals who drowned in Tanza on July 23. However, they are still verifying if the incident was caused by the floods. Meanwhile, in Silang, a part of the newly built river protection wall in Barangay Tubuan 3 are collapsed, affecting 60 of residents. During a Facebook Live, Mayor Kevin Anarna appealed to residents near the area to evacuate and ensure their safety amid the torrential rains. Meanwhile, in Bacoor, floodwaters are in major thoroughfares had receded by 2 p.m., allowing the traffic to resume on roads that were earlier impassable. Molino and Prince Adams, meanwhile, continue to overflow and exhibit strong currents as of 12:30 in the afternoon, according to the latest update from the Bacoor Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office. Now for the weather, here's Royal Orange. Royal?
The latest on Typhoon Carina. According to the latest bulletin of Pag-asa earlier this afternoon, Carina was spotted 380 kilometers north of Itbayat, Batanes at 4 p.m. It was packing maximum sustained winds of 185 kilometers per hour and up to 230 kilometers per hour gusts, the weather agency said. It said Carina's typhoon force winds were extending outwards up to 700 kilometers from the center. Tropical cyclone's wind signal number 1 was up in Batanes, while signal number 1 was hoisted over the following areas: in Babuyan Islands, the northern portion of mainland Cagayan, and northern portions of Ilocos Norte. Carina continues to enhance the southwest monsoon or habagat, which will bring moderate to intense rainfall over the parts of western Luzon, Pag-asa said. The weather agency expects Carina to make landfall over the northern portion of Taiwan on Wednesday evening. The super typhoon will cross Taiwan and exit the Philippine area of responsibility on Thursday morning. It will then make its final landfall over southeastern China on Thursday afternoon or evening. Residents in Metro Manila on Wednesday were forced to evacuate from their houses as flood waters submerged homes and villages. And in relation to that story, for a moment, residents were forced to evacuate as Typhoon Carina floods the Metro Manila. Residents in the Philippines' capital Manila on Wednesday were forced to evacuate from their houses as floodwaters submerged homes and villages. According to resident Ladeline Bernas, everything is destroyed. The flood reached the second house of our house. All of our things are ruined. Everything got wet. Nothing was saved, quote unquote. Village officials said floodwaters have reached as high as the second floor of homes as heavy rains caused by Typhoon Carina continue to pour over Manila. All right. Stephen?
Yeah, a total of 2.88 billion in relief aid has been prepared for those affected by the combined effects of the southern west monsoon and Typhoon Carina, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said on Wednesday. Mga Kalabaw, here's the report from ABS-CBN News on the 12 p.m. edition of Dateline Philippines.
Manila feeling the brunt of Typhoon Carina and the southwest monsoon. Flooding has swept through the capital region, raising alarms and prompting the president to convene his cabinet officials to assess the situation. In a statement on X, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. assures Filipinos government is on top of the situation. He says nearly 3 billion pesos worth of aid has been pre-positioned and thousands of personnel on standby in areas badly hit by nonstop rains. The president also spoke with disaster officials to ensure an adequate and swift storm response. A forced evacuation ongoing in Marikina as the water level at the Marikina River breaches the 18-meter mark. Our very own Adrian Ayala now joins us with an update from there. Adrian, what more can you tell us?
Hi, Carmina. We are here in Barangay Tumana in Marikina City, and residents continue to leave their flooded homes. Right now, I'm seeing here an ambulance and some rescuers. I overheard them. They are about to rescue a child who's on a ventilator. Again, people here are continue to leave their homes and go to nearby evacuation centers. Among them, the Concepcion Elementary School and other schools, public schools here around Barangay Tumana. The good thing here is that residents already know when to evacuate. Most of them have already evacuated early this morning as soon as the second alarm was raised. Again, as you mentioned, at around 7 a.m. it was some second alarm, but at 10 a.m. The flood waters continued to rise, and we saw the level of the Marikina River rise to a third alarm, and that means that there should be forced evacuation, and that is what we are seeing right now on the ground here in Barangay Tumana in Marikina. I am seeing right now a rescue boat. Most of the houses here have second floors. They are of course used to flooding here in Marikina, but again there are one-story houses with of course residents still who are needing to be who need to be rescued, and I can see some children being rescued by this rescue boat. Again, the authorities here, the barangay officials and local government officials continue to monitor the situation. There are people asking residents to leave their houses, but again, the residents who have second floors remain inside their houses, expecting that the floodwaters would subside soon. But again, the situation here, it's continuing to rain here in Barangay Tumana, so it is expected that the floodwaters will still continue to rise. Carmina?
All right, Adrian, just a couple of questions for you before we let you go. How many more meters?
Yes.
How many more meters before they raise to third alarm?
I'm sorry?
How many more meters to go before the third alarm is raised, Adrian?
Actually, when we left the area where there is monitoring, it's in Barangay Kalumpang, the population of Marikina. It's the water is already on the third alarm, 18.1 meters. But after 2 hours, it is safe to assume that it has already reached the third alarm. And because again, what we are seeing here right now is that floodwaters continue to rise, and actually the floodwater is almost reaching the main road here in Marikina City, and people have been evacuating, including their animals, of course. Carmina?
All right, Adrian, as we all know, Marikina, no stranger to flooding in their area. Anything unique about the flooding this time around?
It was sudden, the arrest here, but of course monitoring has been done. We have seen online on the Facebook page of the local government the water level is continuously being shown there, which of course the residents here already know that when it's already on a second alarm, they will have to evacuate. That is the mandatory, and that is the preemptive evacuation, because it is expected to rise up to a third alarm, and that is what is happening right now. Third alarm here in Marikina City, at least in Barangay Tumana. There are also low-lying areas we still need to visit, like in Barangay Malanday and in Barangay Nangka, which are similarly situated like Barangay Tumana. They are along the bank of the Marikina River. Carmina?
All right, thanks a lot. Our very own Adrian Ayalin there joining us on the line. To you and your team, Adrian, take care.
4 residents, including a pregnant woman, died in a landslide Tuesday in Agoncillo town, and another was killed after a tree fell on him in Nasugbo town, both in Batangas province, during the onslaught of Typhoon Carina, or in the international name, Jaime. The local government of Agoncillo, Batangas reported on its Facebook page that the victims' bodies were recovered on Wednesday, July 24, hours after the landslide incident in Barangay Subic, Ilaya. It posted, the victims are members of Tarima's family, a 6-month pregnant woman aged 28 and 3 minors aged 9, 13, and 50 years old, the report said. The report did not identify the victims' names. The local authorities continued to conduct evacuation of residents in the area. They appealed, let us always exercise utmost caution. In the Nasugbo town, police reported that Virgilio, 46 years old, a soup vendor, died after he was pinned down by an uprooted huge acacia tree in Barangay Poblacion 3. He died around 9:30 p.m. on the way to the local hospital. The report stated that the tree was uprooted due to strong winds and heavy rains caused by Carina. The koolNews and the Inquirer.net is extended its relief and fund drive to help families affected by the Typhoon Carina. You can donate to inquirerfoundation.corp at BDO current account number 00796010018860, or email them at foundation@inquire.com.ph. You're still here with us on the special edition of Cool News at 6 together with Dream Car and Royal Orange. Your turn.
All right, now thank you very much, DJ Stephen. Continuing our cool news. Classes in Taguig suspended for July 25. The Taguig City Government suspended classes in all levels in public and private schools in the city for July 25 due to the severe weather. According to the government that announced supposedly yesterday, as of now, with Metro Manila placed under state of calamity due to the severe weather conditions brought by Typhoon Carina and heavy rains from the southwest monsoon, the city of Taguig is suspending classes in all levels, of course public and private, on tomorrow, supposedly July 25. It said the decision was made to ensure the safety of our students, teachers, and staff, and allow communities to recover from the impact of massive flooding in Metro Manila. Added by the government, we urge everyone to take necessary precautions and stay safe during this period. For Taguig City government, they have their following hotline numbers to call for emergencies. For the command center in Taguig City, 8789-3200. For the Taguig Rescue, 0919-070-3112. And for the PNP, 8642-3582, 0998-598-7932. And for the Bureau of Fire Protection, 8837-0740, 8837-4496, 0906-211-0919. Also in our news, Know Your Hazards, enhancing disaster preparedness with real-time flood maps for UPRI-UP NOAA Center. As relentless rains from Typhoon Carina, of course on the international name, GAMI, transform many streets into rivers. The need of effective disaster preparedness has never been more critical. In the Philippines, where typhoons and heavy rains are frequent, timely and precise information about flood risk can be crucial for survival. One of the vital tools for aiding communities and authorities in preparing for and responding to floods is the real-time flood map provided by the UPRI, or the University of the Philippines Resilience Institute. With their real-time monitoring, of course the map available at the website noaa.up.edu.ph/knowyourhazards offers the comprehensive details on the flood-prone areas as well as safe zones. This tool allows users to access the flood susceptibility of their areas. By evaluating the likelihood of floods, landslides, and storm surges, individuals can understand the risk and take appropriate measures to prepare effectively. The map provides real-time information and detailed on flood conditions throughout the different regions in the Philippines by integrating data from rainfall measurements, river gauge, and other meteorological sources. The map offers an up-to-date overview of flood risk, enabling users to make informed decisions. It also has designed for user accessibility and user-friendly interface that simplifies navigation and data information. And the UPRI-UP NOAA Center Real-Time Flood Map represents a significant advancement in flood management and disaster preparedness in the Philippines. For more news, here's Royal Orange. Royal?
Dream car around 430,000 will lose power amid Typhoon Carina's onslaught. That's according to Meralco. The number of homes and establishments that were hit by power outages has risen further amid the continuing onslaught of the Habagat and Super Typhoon Carina, Meralco said in its latest advisory. According to Meralco, as of 3 p.m. today, around 430,000 customers are affected by service interruptions, mostly in Metro Manila and in Bulacan, Cavite, and Rizal. The rest are in portions of Laguna, Batangas, and Quezon provinces. The power distributor said the outages are caused by heavy flooding across their service areas. Meralco Vice President and Head of Corporate Communications Joe Saldariaga said that their linemen have waited for the flood to subside before they can restore electricity. Quoting him, quote, "We continue to ask for patience and understanding from our customers who are still affected by service interruptions. Our crews will immediately be deployed to restore power service once floods subside in affected areas." Energy Secretary Rafael Lotilla said that the power lines are down, then you cannot restore them immediately until you are sure that our people are safe. Power restoration activities are currently being carried out in the Meralco franchise area. The Department of Energy said two off-grid plants have been shut down in Batangas and Occidental Mindoro, and one experiencing partial power interruption in Roblox. Over the status of telecommunications, telcos say they are ready to offer free calls, Wi-Fi charging in areas affected by Carina. Globe Telecom and PLDT Smart said their personnel are on standby to provide emergency telecommunication services in areas that may be affected by heavy rains and flooding. Globe said its networks remain operating normally and that it has pre-positioned its personnel and supplies in Luzon amid the heavy rains and flooding brought by the storm and the enhanced southwest monsoon. From Yoli Crisanto, Globe's Chief Sustainability and Corporate Communications Officer, quote, "Our facilities are equipped with generators and alternative backup power sources to ensure steady power supply and prevent commercial power outages from affecting the delivery of connectivity service." The Ayala-led telco said it is also on standby for the possible deployment of libreng tawag, libreng charging, and libreng Wi-Fi services in areas where the storm may cause power and service outages. Globe added that it has provided free data access to the website of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, NDRRMC, to help customers access timely and verified weather updates. Meanwhile, PLDT and Smart said their network services remain operational and resilient amid the onslaught of Carina, except in areas affected by commercial power interruption. According to PLDT's and Smart First Vice President and Group Corporate Communications Head Cathy Yan, quote, "We are on standby to extend much needed assistance to those who are affected by Carina. We are assessing the situation with our networks and sales teams nationwide and are ready to deploy libreng tawag, libreng charging, and libreng Wi-Fi, as well as immediate relief aid to those who may need it." Despite the inclement weather, communication lines have remained working, according to DICT Secretary Ivan Uy. Uy said, quote, "There are some areas that have been isolated physically because of the rivers that have overflowed or mga bridges that are underwater or have been damaged. However, those remote areas continue to be able to communicate with us, which is very important because though those communications lines, we are made aware kung anong mga kailangan nila. We also pointed out the improvement in the emergency cell broadcast system, which he said is now more timely than before. Unlike before, when warnings arrived after the fact, we said alerts are now being sent ahead of the arrival of heavy rains. The country has also acquired more mobile emergency communication facilities as well for deployed during calamities where communications lines are knocked down. Stephen.
Before we move ahead to our next report, the Jollibee, the Philippines' number one fast food chain, announced on its Facebook page earlier at 1:52 p.m. Due to Typhoon Carina, Jollibee delivery services via 87000, the Jollibee app, our delivery website, and in GrabFood and Foodpanda will be temporarily suspended in Metro Manila until further notice. Please bear with us as we ensure the safety of everyone during this time, including our store teams and aggregator partners. Thank you for understanding. Once again, the Jollibee delivery services will be temporarily suspended because of the ongoing typhoon, while the on-site stores will remain available for order, especially for those who wish to deliver goods for the displaced victims because of the typhoon. And here now, ladies and gentlemen, another interview with Francis Zamora, San Juan City Mayor, with ABS-CBN News Channel.
State of calamity. Let's discuss this with Mayor Francis Zamora of San Juan City and the President of the Metro Manila Council. Mayor Zamora, again, thank you so much for taking our invitation to appear on the show despite a very hectic and busy day. Good afternoon to you.
Yes, good afternoon, Stanley. Thank you for having me in your program.
All right. The Metro Manila Council has, of course, declared a state of calamity. That's on account of 12 LGU officials actually pushing for this one. What are the priorities now under a state of calamity?
Yes, Stanley, for everyone's understanding, the reason why it is important to declare a state of calamity, it is for the LGUs to be able to access our quick response funds. All LGUs have disaster funds, but we can only use up to 70% for mitigation. Now, the remaining 30% will be accessed if we declare a state of calamity. And with what we're seeing now, we will definitely need all the funds we could possibly utilize to be able to help our people given the extent of damage that we are seeing.
All right, and as you mentioned, the set of damage that we are seeing, this can continue. Of course, the rains have not stopped. What's the situation now in San Juan City?
Leptospirosis risk. The Department of Health on Wednesday declared a code white alert nationwide due to the incessant rains brought by the strong southwest monsoon and reminded the public about the risk of getting leptospirosis. The DOH, in a statement, said its health units will conduct proactive monitoring and reporting of any untoward health incidents amid the intense rains, which have spawned flooding in many parts of Metro Manila and neighboring provinces. The agency also warned the public about leptospirosis that can be contracted from infected floodwaters through exposed skin, even without visible wounds. It said antibiotics or pre-exposure pills are available to prevent the bacterial infection transmitted by many animals such as rodents. Consult your nearest doctor or health center within 24 hours after wading through floodwaters or touching soil, mud, or dirt.
The council has, of course, declared a state of calamity. That's on account of 12 LGU officials actually pushing for this one. What are the priorities now under?
We must have our report now from ANC. Let's go ahead.
Yeah, hold on. We're having actual technical difficulties. Yeah, once again, here's the report from ANC. We're currently fixing the audio. Rest assured that, here we go.
Metro Manila is now under a state of calamity. Let's discuss this with Mayor Francis Zamora of San Juan City and the President of the Metro Manila Council. Mayor Zamora, again, thank you so much for taking our invitation to appear on the show despite a very hectic and busy day. Good afternoon to you.
Yes, good afternoon, Stanley. Thank you for having me in your program.
All right. The Metro Manila Council has, of course, declared a state of calamity. That's on account of 12 LGU officials actually pushing for this one. What are the priorities now under a state of calamity?
Yes, Stanley, for everyone's understanding, the reason why it is important to declare a state of calamity, it is for the LGUs to be able to access our quick response funds. All LGUs have disaster funds, but we can only use up to 70% for mitigation. Now, the remaining 30% can only be accessed if we declare a state of calamity. And with what we're seeing now, we will definitely need all the funds we could possibly utilize to be able to help our people given the extent of damage that we are seeing.
All right, and as you mentioned, the set of damage that we are seeing, this can continue. Of course, the rains have not stopped. What's the situation now in San Juan City? Earlier, we've had reports of an overflow of San Juan River at San Juan Bridge. Has the situation improved, at least in the last few hours?
Well, we have 14 barangays that are currently experiencing flooding, and these are the ones that are contiguous to the San Juan River, to the Maitunas Creek, and the Ermitaño Creek. So we are continuously monitoring the situation. In fact, I'm going around the different barangays now and inspecting. So, based on the report of Pag-asa earlier, there was a meeting presided over by no less than President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. at the Office of Civil Defense. According to Pag-asa, we may experience the same weather tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, we are really preparing for a prolonged heavy rainfall.
And given the situation that, any second is important, you have to make those major decisions in time. And we're really running out of time in a sense that it's more difficult to launch any rescue or even relief operations at night. So what is the mandate now of most mayors, at least for San Juan City? What are your plans for the rest of the day, given that you have very little time to do all of these things? Rescue the affected individuals and hold your rescue and relief efforts?
Yes, we have 1,000 individuals in our evacuation center now, and a few hundreds in the different barangay evacuation centers. So, again, if you are living in areas that are along the waterways, please get out of there. Yung iba kasi ho talaga, no, minsan
Yeah.
ayaw lumikas. No? So, kailangan po, lumikas na po tayo. Let us all go to the evacuation centers. Let's not wait for the situation to get even worse.
And will it ever reach a point that evacuation will be mandatory?
Actually, in some cities earlier during the meeting, I was listening to the situation of other cities. What you call the forced evacuation, and these are in areas that are really in danger zones because of high water levels. So right now in San Juan, we are experiencing flooding, but the people who are living in the waterways have been evacuated. So in case there's still some staying in their homes, please get out of there. Please proceed to the evacuation centers now.
And do you have anything and everything that you need for the night? When you talk about, relief goods, at least, are there enough relief goods to tide a lot of these residents over for the night?
Yes, here in San Juan, we are good to go. In fact, everyone is now working around the clock to be able to ensure that we can take care of all our evacuees. We are receiving a lot of calls for rescue in the different barangays, so everyone is on their toes now, and I'm inspecting the different barangays as of the moment.
Yes, I was also monitoring that council meeting this afternoon, and a lot of local government heads, particularly those that are not as affected as the others, are offering assistance. So have you been getting any of these, offers or assistance from rescue teams from the other cities who may be, providing the needed help for your residents?
Yes, actually earlier, Makati City, headed by Mayor Abby Binay, already offered to help the other LGUs. Actually, those in the Kamanav area are really having a hard time because of the closeness to the bodies of water. So that's Caloocan, Malabon, Navotas, and Valenzuela, and also Marikina. So again, to the other LGUs who are offering help, thank you very much. As early as now, we would like to thank them. And we are seeing that here in Metro Manila, just like during COVID-19, all the LGUs are helping each other.
All right. Lastly, and just to reiterate, particularly for your constituents, Mayor Zamora, what is your advice again for those who are living particularly in the most vulnerable barangays of San Juan City?
If we are living in the areas that are really close to the San Juan River, to the Maitunas and Ermitaño Creeks, let us go to the evacuation centers already. So the barangay halls located in higher areas can be used, even if it's not within your barangay. The barangays are now open for evacuation in case you are living in areas that are close to the waterways. Please get out of there now and move to higher ground.
All right. Thank you so much for that advice. Very important, very critical. San Juan City Mayor Francis Zamora, we wish you well on your efforts tonight.
Yes, thank you very much, Danny.
Bishop Honesto Ontioko of the Diocese of Cubao on Wednesday, July 24, directed priests in the community to open churches to residents displaced by monsoon rains enhanced by Typhoon Carina. The relentless rain triggered flooding in Metro Manila and some provinces in Luzon, prompting local governments to evacuate residents, including 25,867 individuals in Quezon City as of 2 p.m., according to data from the local government. While over 150 evacuation centers were already designated by the Quezon City government in 82 barangays, the Diocese of Cubao said that some of its churches have already opened their doors to residents who had to leave their houses in flood-hit areas. Holy Family Parish, Rojas District, Our Lady of Pentecost Parish, Loyola Heights, Immaculate Conception Parish, GSIS Village, Our Lady of Perpetual Help Parish in Project 8 and Cubao, Holy Family Parish, GSIS Village, Our Lady of Fatima Parish, Cordillera Street, Resurrection of Our Lord Parish, Basad Street, Diocese Shrine of Jesus, the Divine Word, E. Rodriguez Sr. But on Facebook, the diocese said, as well as that some of its churches were underwater as 200 millimeters or almost 8 inches of rain fell in Metro Manila for the past 24 hours. San Antonio de Padua Parish in Masambong, Most Holy Redeemer Parish in Brixton Hall. Some churches in the Diocese of Novaliches, such as the Holy Family Parish in Gulod and Santa Lucia Parish in Rizal Street, opened their doors too, to provide temporary shelters where basic necessities are provided for displaced individuals. Meanwhile, in LRT1, the Light Rail Manila Corporation announced on Wednesday that it is adjusting the operating schedule of the Light Rail Transit 1 due to flooding situations brought by Typhoon Carina. In a media advisory at 4:30 p.m., it said in light of the unfavorable weather conditions and flooding situation brought about Typhoon Carina or Gaimi, placing Metro Manila under heavy rainfall, red warning level, LRT1 private operator Light Rail Manila Corporation is implementing an adjusted train schedule today. The last train station from Baclaran Station is set to leave at 9:30 p.m., while the last trip from Fernando Poe Jr. Station, formerly Roosevelt, is scheduled to leave at 9:45 p.m. While all the 200 LRT1 station, the 20 LRT1 stations remained operational on Wednesday, LRMC also hoped for the commuters' understanding of the status of service due to limited manpower and accessibility issues in several areas. LRT1 passengers who also need to exit via stations with flooded street level areas will be allowed to stay at the station for temporary shelter until the flooding situation improves. The Pag-asa in a 2 p.m. bulletin reported that a red rainfall warning was raised in Metro Manila, Zambales, Bataan, Rizal, Bulacan, Pampanga, and Tarlac due to the enhanced southwest monsoon, locally called Habagat, by Typhoon Carina. Areas under the red rainfall warning are expected to experience over 30 millimeters of rain within the next 2 hours, with possible serious flooding in flood-prone areas. Meanwhile, a yellow rainfall warning was placed in Cavite, Batangas, Laguna, Nueva Ecija, and some parts of Quezon, specifically General Lacar, Infanta, Real, Mauban, and Sampaloc. These areas are forecast to have between 7.5 millimeters and 15 millimeters of rain within an hour or the next 2 hours, with possible flooding in flood-prone areas. Ladies and gentlemen, this is koolNews at 6, the special edition for the typhoon. Continue.
Continuing our news tonight, 2 roads affected in Region 2 due to Carina. In Tuguegarao City, the Department of Public Works and Highways Region 2 reported affected roads as Typhoon Carina pummeled northern Luzon on Wednesday. The agency said 2 roads were affected, with 1 lane passable as of Wednesday afternoon. The junction Gataran-Cumao, Kapisayan, Santa Margarita, Bolos Road in Barangay Alba, Bagao, Cagayan had a collapsed slope protection and cave-in road base. Signages were installed in the area. The Nueva Vizcaya Pangasinan Road in Barangay Imugan, Santa Fe, Nueva Vizcaya is 1 lane passable due to landslide. Clearing operations are still ongoing. All other national roads and bridges in the region are passable according to DPWH. And the disaster of incident management teams of the regional office and 11 district engineering offices are continuously on the round the clock duty to monitor the status of national roads and bridges. And also maintenance personnel and quick response alerts or their QRAs in all DOs are also on standby. Plus, DBM 11 billion pesos calamity fund still available. The Department of Budget and Management said that almost half of the government's calamity funds are still available to assist people affected by Typhoon Carina and the southwest monsoon. According to the Budget Secretary Amena F. Pagandaman, approximately 11.12 billion pesos remains in the calamity fund out of a total allocation of 22.736 billion pesos this year, which includes a carryover amount of 2.236 billion pesos from last year's budget. He said that the budget carryover can be utilized from various disaster relief operations until the end of 2024. According to State Weather Bureau, Carina did not make landfall in the Philippines, but it has been affected parts of northern Luzon and enhancing the southwest monsoon. As of this writing, Metro Manila has been placed under a state of calamity. And now, Royal Orange. Royal.
Several local government units have suspended classes and work on Thursday, July 25, due to heavy rains and inclement weather brought about by the southwest monsoon or habagat. As of 6:26 p.m., all levels of public and private classes, including work in government offices, are suspended in the places of Caloocan, Las Piñas, Makati, Malabon, Mandaluyong, Manila, Marikina, Muntinlupa, Navotas, Parañaque, Pasay, Pasig, Pateros, Quezon City, San Juan, Taguig, and Valenzuela. In Region 3, in Aurora, Bataan, Bulacan, Nueva Ecija, Pampanga, Tarlac, Zambales. And in Region 4A, Calabarzon, in Batangas, Cavite, Laguna, Quezon, and Rizal. While the suspension of work for private companies and offices in those areas is left to the discretion of respective companies. And it is such a hard time for everyone those in Luzon. We urge you to keep dry and stay safe. Continue to listen to the news.
And once again, before we conclude this edition, hotlines for the emergency hotlines. Wait lang. We urge you to at this time we urge all our kalamaos to take note of the following emergency contact numbers amid the severe weather conditions in Metro Manila and other provinces. For the Philippine Red Cross, we have emergency hotline 143. That's 143 for Philippine Red Cross, or 028527 8385 to 95. That's 028527 8385 to 95. For the Bureau of Fire Protection, 028426 0219 and 028426 0246. 0246, yeah. For the NDRRMC, 028911 5061 to 65, local 100. The Philippine Coast Guard, 0285273877. The Department of DSWD, 028931 8101 207. MMDA, 02882 4151 to 77. The Philippine National Police, 117 or 028722 0650. For Pag-asa, 8027 1541 or 8926-4251, DPWH 16502. 16502 for DPWH. And for the National Emergency Hotline in the Republic of the Philippines, that is 911. Ladies and gentlemen, we pray for the safety of our dear listeners and viewers here on Cool FM.
And that is it for tonight here on Cool News at 6. As always, thank you so much for your continuous trust and support. For more news and information, keep it right here on Cool FM. And you can send us a tip to us at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. Join us at 9 p.m. for Cool News Prime Time. From the headquarters of Cool FM, the station that cares for you, I'm Dream Karaoke.
I'm Royal Orange.
And I am Stephen Iwanag Del Sol. You've been listening to Cool FM, the station that cares for you. Take care, stay safe, good night, and mabuhay.
We all hope you have a very good evening. Stay safe, take care, goodbye for now. From everyone here at the studio. It's now 6:48.